I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Cincinnati Hamilton County Public Library. We're coming to you from the main library boardroom today. I'm Greg Olson, and I'm the board president. I think what we need to do next is ask Molly to do a roll call of all the attendees.
Okay.
Molly, would you do that?
Yep. Miss Allen?
Here.
Mr. Harding?
Here.
Mr. Hendon?
Here.
Mr. Olson?
Here.
Miss Redden?
Here.
Miss Reynolds?
Here.
Thank you.
I don't believe we have anyone signed up for public comments. We do have a guest, but we do not have any public comments. So we'll move on to the director's report.
Right, thank
Paula,
you.
would you like to take it from here?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Olson, and welcome everyone. Happy National Library Workers Day.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of good things, I'll start today with announcing our main library reopening celebration is set for July 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Woohoo!
Yes, absolutely. After honoring the main library south building at a closing ceremony back in the fall of 2021, we are very excited to announce the date for our grand reopening celebration on the morning of Friday, July 12th at 10 a.m. We will reopen the south building doors for a non-stop celebration of our remodeled and re-envisioned main library. Okay. In preparation for this action-packed weekend of celebratory events, we are working with local community partner and event planning expert, Game Day Communications. Game Day has coordinated and promoted many local events, including the Cincinnati Music Festival and the past 20 years of the Flying Pig Marathon. So very excited about that.
Awesome.
Mark it on your calendars. Legislative updates and activities. House Bill 344 is legislation introduced by Representatives Matthews and Hall that seeks to eliminate the authority of political subdivisions to levy replacement property tax levies. The bill has not yet passed out of the House Ways and Means Committee. House Bill 257, which authorizes certain public bodies, including public libraries, to hold virtual meetings, has passed out of the House and is now in the Senate Government Oversight Committee, where they have been holding hearings. I had the pleasure of joining Cincinnati Vice Mayor Jan Michelle Lemon-Kearney and Leadership Coordinator for the local Dolly Parton's Imagination Library program, Christy High, for a story time at Madisonville branch on February 14th. The Vice Mayor and Ms. High read stories, interacted with families, and promoted information about the Ohio Imagination Library. On March 25, state and local officials joined library leaders, and actually trustee vice president of the board, Chris Harding, was there with us at the Walnut Hills branch for a legislative breakfast and showcase. Elected stakeholders from Ohio, Cincinnati, and Hamilton County enjoyed breakfast and visiting showcase stations to learn about the telescope landing program and programs coinciding with yesterday's eclipse. Also, our summer reading, makerspace equipment, and library outreach. The following elected officials were in attendance: Cincinnati Vice Mayor Jan Michelle Lemon-Kearney, Councilmember Anna Albee and Mika Owens, Hamilton County Commissioner and President Alicia Reese, and Vice President Denise Driehaus, Ohio Senator Catherine Ingram, and Ohio Representative Cindy Abrams, Rachel Baker, Cedric Dunson, and Bill Sykes. It was a great day. Public Service Director Kathy Bach, Government Relations Coordinator Elaine Fay, and I attended the Hamilton County Commission President Alicia Reese's Women History Month celebration at the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame on March 22nd. Talk a little bit about something we're going to try, our gun safety lock pilot program. Through our ongoing conversation and relationship building with City of Cincinnati Council Member Anna Albee, we have the opportunity to distribute about 50 gun safety locks at select library locations. Those will be in the city, joining a small but growing number of public libraries across the country working in support of gun safety in our community. The locks and the supporting materials are being provided courtesy of the advocacy group Moms Demand Action. Year in review videos. Thanks to 2023 Board President Nadine Allen for introducing our year in review video of 2023 highlights and successes for our library. Video is now available at chpl.org/annual-report, along with the Building the Next Generation Library video that reviews the facility's master plan progress through 23 and discusses planned upcoming projects. We have our annual staff recognition event coming up. We're very excited to announce that celebration will be on Sunday, June 9th from 5:30 to 8 here at Main Library. So a little bit of sneak peek. We are inviting current staff, retirees, and their families to celebrate with us this year. Thanks to our committed and dedicated members of staff recognition team for ensuring we have the opportunity to celebrate our great staff. Thanks to, for the support of the foundation ensuring we have great refreshments for that event as well, always important. American Library's article highlights CHPL levy success. The January-February issue of American Libraries featured an article highlighting our library's work and passing our local levy last fall. The article notes our high percentage of yes votes and our library board and leadership's strong emphasis on community engagement across the city and county throughout the summer and fall leading up to Election Day. One-time strategic community investment fund dollars requested for the Cheviot Accessibility Project. The Ohio General Assembly is considering projects that will be funded by the OTSCIF, the One-Time Strategic Community Investment Fund, a fund that will provide up to $700 million for one-time strategic investments in local communities. These funds are not intended for operation or to support pilot programs. Rather, they are intended to assist in the investment or completion of a project. They are not meant to be a sole funding source. These are one-time funds designed for meaningful and transformational investments. We're working to complete, and we did actually submit our worksheet and supporting documentation for that Cheviot Branch Accessibility Project to our state senators, which is the legislative chamber now considering which projects to move forward with. We anticipate submitting $1 million for this project, with the remaining funding coming from our own local tax levy. Finally, ending up with a bit of information about our long-term plans for sustainable energy options. In order to take full advantage of emerging programs that now allow public libraries to seek funding for energy and sustainability efforts in several areas, the library is working on both short and long-term plans and projects. This includes the development of a framework or a roadmap to help increase our knowledge and guide our choices. In the immediate future, we are working with energy consultant Donovan Energy to prepare and submit an application for the upcoming round of OKI allocated federal carbon reduction program grants. We have connected with Hamilton County to ensure their support and willingness to act as a partner in the application, which is focused on the installation of EV charging stations in up to 5 library parking lots. Also, with an application that requires meticulous preparation and strategic planning to ensure a competitive proposal. Longer term, the Inflation Reduction Act, the IRA, enacted in 2022, has expanded the set of clean energy-related asset categories that are now able to be directly subsidized by the federal government via tax credits and direct payments. Previously, if you were an entity like the public library that does not pay taxes, there was little to no realistic opportunity to utilize the IRA for our clean and renewable energy needs. Recently, this changed with the creation of numerous opportunities for tax-exempt entities to take advantage of clean energy tax credits. This means CHPL can now consider solar and other renewables to offset energy costs and upgrade or enhance existing energy-related technology, including transitioning from a commercial fleet to a hybrid or EV fleet over time and installing alternate fueling infrastructure, charging stations. We will be best served by the prompt development of a long-term plan to capitalize on this quickly evolving landscape and ensure our choices are sustainable. We plan to work with Donovan Energy on the development of this plan, which will include community engagement over the next several months. Mr. Olson, that concludes my report.
Well done. Thank you very much for the information. All right, that will move us to Mr. Hendon to present the Facilities Finance and Audit Committee report. Mr.
The
Hendon?
Facilities Finance and Audit Committee met on March 29, 2024 at the Avondale Branch Library. Committee members Nadine Allen, Diane Cunningham-Redden were in attendance, along with Board President Greg Olson. Staff members Paul Bramheger and Molly DeFossi were in attendance also. It is recommended the committee to the board take the following action. Concerning the 2025 budget, the Hamilton County Budget Commission has allowed the library to file modified tax budgets since fiscal year 2005, with understanding and ongoing approval is subject to annual review. A request to submit a modified 2025 budget was submitted to the Budget Commission on February 19, 2024. Library is required to submit its annual budgets to Hamilton County by May 31st, 2024. The proposed 2025 operating budget balances current funding expectations, current operating costs, and capital project plans. Capital budget has been constructed on the basis of need, that is, which is needed to fund top priorities for capital building and improvement projects as identified in facility master plan. The 2025 appropriations presented at the December 24th, 2024 board meeting will be based on the actual anticipated revenue and operations at that time. We need to approve the 2025 operating budget and capital budget as follows. The operating budget, the proposed general fund operating budget of $38,147,100 is approximately 6% greater than the original 2024 appropriations. This includes allowances for increases in salary costs, for the annual merit increases, and annualized planning new staff for opening new main library and opening other branches. The budget also accounts for slight increases in the categories of expenditure and support and strategic planning for the library. Then there's a general fund, the numbers you have in the report. I'm not going to go through the numbers. All right, capital budget. The capital budget includes the remaining anticipated projects identified with a facility master plan released in January 2020 for projects between 2024 and 2028, costs updated for current estimates. All right, then we have, I'll just list them and I will now. We have life cycle repair and maintenance, land acquisition, Sims Township, Miami Township, Cheviot, Elmwood Place, and Delhi Township. Total estimate of $72,916,904. Contingencies. The budget reserves two contingencies. A $2,150,000 operating contingency, 3%, and a general fund, and a $2 million capital contingency for the building and repair fund. Funding, carry forward and required new funding. The general fund expects to end 2024 with approximately $28.7 million of available funding. To fund the 2025 budget, the library will need intergovernmental revenue and a little more than $122 million. The source of that revenue is the public library fund and local property taxes for budget purposes. Property tax receipts for 2025 are estimated at $50,561,863. This is approximately the amount expected for 2024 and the additional funding for new library dollars expected in 2025. The balance, the intergovernmental revenue of $72,014,000 is being requested from the public library fund. Main library project update. The temporary certificate of occupancy was received on schedule in early March. Turner is continuing to work with a punch list and completing add-on projects, including the third floor staff area, wall, and the main Walnut Street entry. The shelving is scheduled to be delivered in mid-April, with the furniture to follow shortly thereafter. The public art is scheduled to be installed on the plaza in early June, and a signature design element for the children's area entry will be installed in mid-June. Library staff relocations are happening as the spaces are completed, and the facility team continues to complete work outside the Turner project scope. Need to confirm the following change orders to modify the interior renovation GMP for Turner Construction. And I'm not going to read the individual ones. They're in your report. The new Forest Park branch, the domestic and fire service water lines are currently being installed, and the exterior masonry continues along the west elevation. Transformer has been installed, and the concrete pads have been poured in preparation for the air handling units arriving by the end of March. The framing of the soffits continues on the south elevation of the courtyard. In addition, window frames are being set with about 5% of total glazing installed. The interior drywalls are 90% complete, and drywall ceilings have started. Now we need to confirm the following change order to modify the Forest Park branch GMP for Turner Construction. And again, these are listed in your report. Miami Township Cleves property purchase. They approved the purchase agreement of 1.34 acres located in Cleves, Ohio, from Tisch Properties LLC, consisting of following parcels for $548,695. And there's list of maps and the acreage and so forth. Where is that?
It's not that far from the current branch at all. It's kind of right across the street. Do you know where the gazebo in the middle of town is there? It's right around that gazebo. It's actually, the gazebo is part of it. So it's nearly, I would say, right across the street from the current branch, which is part of the senior center. So it's very close to the current one. And it's in, yeah, it's like in downtown Cleves.
We're happy with the cost.
I think that we're satisfied with it. Yes, we are satisfied with that cost, yes.
All right, we need to authorize the Eva Jane Remain Coombe Director to execute the necessary documents related to the Cleves property purchase subsequent to the satisfactory date, diligence, and contract approval by the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office. Madeira sidewalk improvements. Authorize the Eva Jane Remain Coombe Director to act all matters on behalf of the board related to the sidewalk improvement project in the city of Madeira at the corner of Miami and Euclid. The transaction will include a parcel division, property transfer, sign relocation, and potential easements. This transactions will be confirmed with the board upon completion. Now I need a motion to accept the action in the report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All
You know
right.
what, can I do a roll call, just because we
Yes,
have
you may.
the land in here? Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Harding,
Yes.
Mr. Hendon,
Yes.
Mr. Olson,
Yes.
Ms. Redden,
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds.
Yes.
Thanks.
All right, moving on, the Hyde Park Branch elevator replacement renovation. The temporary certificate of occupancy was received in mid-March. Current construction, Turner continues work on the finishes and punch items. The elevator installation is ongoing with the assurance that it will be operational by mid-April opening. The shelving and furniture has been delivered. Library staff is completing and moving out and cleaning up the temporary lease space. Library staff are working to prepare the building for opening.
Mr. Hendon, just to remind everyone, we have solidified the date since we wrote this, so it is actually this coming weekend. We will be opening the Hyde Park branch on Saturday at 10 a.m., so everyone is invited to come have the party with us. Thank you, Mr. Hendon.
So noted. Mount Healthy branch replacement. The board approved the GMP inclusive of CMR and CMR contingency equal to or less than $4 million with a project budget of $5,375,000, including property purchase price of $1,975,000 in February of 2024. Final GMP was executed in March at a total of $2,875,851, which is approximately $1.1 million less than anticipated.
Yay.
The site was mobilized in mid-March and the estimate completion in fall 2024. Now, the Emmondale branch maintenance and renovation. Library has been working with design professionals and other consultants to identify the scope of the maintenance required to adequately waterproof the building as well as to maximize the interior space. A major obstacle to improvements continues to be the lack of on-site parking. We're working to outline all improvement options over the next few months. In addition, we're investigating potential temporary rental space to provide library services during any possible building closure while the work is completed. Now, Sims Township branch renovation addition. We have spent a considerable amount of time and resources over last year developing and evaluating design options to improve the branch parking lot, pedestrian traffic, and safety, and service operations in our system's busiest branch. During this process, the estimates to renovate and create a small addition were between $8 million to $10 million. Excuse me. Considering the lack of options to make cost-effective and significant improvements, and given a rare opportunity for the library to take advantage of tax reduction energy incentives, the library is now considering a plan to demolish the existing structure and construct a new, larger branch is planned to include solar panels and a geothermal energy system. the preliminary estimate for the project's 22,000 square foot building is approximately $16 million. We're seeking a temporary location to provide service during construction, approximately September 2024 through November 2025. Plan to engage with the community in April. We encourage the service of JS held on the, we have engaged the services of JS held on this project. Now, Associate Branch accessibility, maintenance, and renovation. The architect SHP is using the information from the pricing exercise with Turner and input from library staff to develop construction documents over the next several weeks. The intention is to work with Turner to obtain a GMP and commence construction by the end of the year. Now, ongoing FMP implementation, life cycle replacement planning. Library has continued working with our partners on options for Delhi Township branch in accordance with the original FMP timeline of 2026 to 2027 implementation. We include township officials and the community development. In addition, several mechanical components of the main library's north building are at the end of their life. We more recently installed mechanical equipment in the south building is dependent upon the chiller cooling tower in the north building to operate. The library is working with local energy consultants Donovan Energy to identify options for replacement as well as opportunities to improve the overall energy efficiency of the main library campus and unique offering of the Inflation Reduction Act tax incentives. Now, Madisonville branch lease agreement. Lease agreement with Ackerman of 2022 or 2020 includes a tenant improvement allowance, which, working with the amount due to the library, it was discovered there's a discrepancy in the actual square footage of the finished space. Result, the library reassigned the lease amended increase that square footage from 8,260 to 8,796, which resulted in an increase in the monthly rent. The library expects to receive the tenant allowance reimbursement by the end of April 2024. Walnut Hills branch accessibility and Madison branch accessibility. Resolution and remaining punch list items have been very slow. We continue to work with Megan Construction on these issues as well as project closeout documents. Tyler Tech Munis EPR system. What is that?
It's our accounting system.
What?
It's our accounting system.
Oh, your accounting system.
It's like the brand name of it, yeah.
As previously reported, it's my report and I don't even know what's in it. As previously reported, the library implemented a new EPR system on January 23. The system has improved several operational efficiencies in the transition process, but more work needs to be done in several areas, including capital assets and reporting. With the addition of our new fiscal manager, Max Clark, and the support of our partners at Tyler Tech, we plan to spend the next 2 quarters focusing on system improvements.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? It's Max Selick, and Max is right here in the back corner, so.
Hi, Max.
You'll all meet him eventually, but I wanted to.
What did I call
I can't
him?
see him.
Uh,
Colleen's blocking his
Sorry.
view.
He started at March 18th.
At a right 5'3",
Yes. Sorry, you can finish.
All right, 2023 audit. The annual audit for the auditor of state has recently commenced. Work will continue over the next few months, and the local government services unit of their office will assisting in the library with our annual comprehensive financial report. This work will most likely continue over the next months. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Hendon. So we will move on to Ms. Redden and the HR Committee Chair for the HR report.
Thank you, Mr. Olson.
You're welcome.
This report was compiled expertly by Kyla Harton. Policy update. A goal for 2024 is to continue to review and update policies to ensure that they are clear, concise, and reflect the current practices of the library. We request approval of the attached policy update. The revised policy is attached as follows. Sick time policy, Proposed is A, current policy is B. If you want to look at the exhibits. Sick leave policy. We're recommending a revision to the current sick leave policy that changes the time frame of when staff will need to provide medical documentation to return to work after an illness. The current policy states that documentation is required after 5 consecutive days of absence. We are recommending that medical documentation now be required after 3 consecutive shifts are missed due to illness. This recommendation aligns with the time frame that may initiate family medical leave, FML, and comes now with that the CDC has revised quarantine guidance and released a unified approach for addressing risks for large common respiratory viral illnesses, including COVID-19. Does anybody want to look at the exhibits and have any questions or comments? If not, I'd ask for a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second?
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Harding?
Yes.
Mr. Hendon?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Ms. Redden?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Thank you.
The rest is informational only. Community Leadership Certificate Program. Our first cohort for the Community Leadership Certificate Program is finishing their second semester at Cincinnati State. We received strong positive feedback from participants and Cincinnati State who referred to our staff cohort as a joy to work with, so engaging, valuing feedback, and putting a lot of thought and reflection into their assignments. This program was previously called the Public Service Leadership Certificate Program. It received a new title after Cincinnati State finalized the curriculum through their Academic Policies and Curriculum Committee. The program has been designed to create new paths for advancement for staff who do not currently have an MLS or an MLIS degree and are passionate about leading others in public service. The goal of the library-funded program is to equip staff with the knowledge and skills to be successful in public service leadership roles at the library. We currently have 10 participants. Several of the first cohort participants have accepted promotions into leadership within the library system. Currently, our senior branch manager at Delhi Township, Heather Price, our branch manager at College Hill, Michael Guess, our outreach supervisor, Jenna Felsheim, and our service and hospitality coordinator, Becky Cohn, have all advanced their careers through this program. Applications for our next cohort of the Community Leadership Certificate Program opened on Monday, April 8th, and will close on Tuesday, April 30th. Interest and excitement for this program continues to be high, and we look forward to selecting participants to begin classes at Cincinnati State this upcoming fall semester.
Ms. Redden, we
Are there
actually have a
participants?
couple of
Good.
them here, yes. So
Good,
if
good.
you guys would stand up, yeah. If you would give us a quick shout out who you are.
I'm Becky Cohn, the new Service and Hospitality Coordinator. And I have been with the library for 33 years.
That's wonderful.
I'm Rita Girarella. I'm the needs specialist at the Deer Park branch, and I've been with the system a little over 8 years.
Wonderful.
Libraries lucky to have you.
Absolutely. And these two are 2 of 10 of our staff who've just been trailblazers for this program, just true ambassadors for the library and representing us with Cincinnati State and beyond. So just really proud of you and thank you so much for participating in this.
Great. Kyla, since we wrote this, Kyla and some people from Cincinnati State are doing a webinar for the Urban Library Council to tell everyone about the work we're doing all across North America. So congratulations to everybody on that one too.
Right. I did want to make a point that this library developed this program. Thank you, Eva Jane, the main co-director. I'm able to say that.
Thank you,
Wow.
retired Jen. It's very impressive.
Read that.
Yeah, I know, she got that right
It
off.
took me 4 years.
Wow.
I'll put it on paper and.
I know.
I know.
That's right, you can do this.
It really was Paula's vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a vision
Yeah.
of Paula,
Yeah, it was
From
Paula's
here.
vision to make this happen.
executive director.
And it's being modeled now by other
Right.
systems, and we
That's
are
right.
consistently
It
being
started
asked for
here,
information around
and
this
I think that's
program.
something to remark, that's for us to be proud of.
Right, yes, yes.
Thank
Okay,
Becky's been here longer than
everybody
me.
settle back down now. More reading to do. Marketing communications. Beginning March 3rd, I am pleased to have our marketing communications department reporting to me. This is Kyla speaking. These 2 departments.
Don't get sorry. Don't call Diane.
What? I'm back to work?
Oh, boy.
Oh boy, is right. Yeah. These 2 departments departments have made a successful transition in the new reporting structure, and Kyla looks forward to continuing to support and work with both teams. This opportunity also allows her to learn more about various parts of our organization as we make succession planning a priority. National Library Workers Day. Today, April 9th, is National Library Workers Day. Yay! This is the day when communities across the country recognize the valuable contributions made by library staff. National Library Workers Day honors our staff for their commitment to serve with excellence. This week, our staff morale team is sponsoring fun virtual activities throughout the week, encouraging staff to connect with each other and take part in the celebration. Senior leadership created themed baskets to raffle off to staff during each hour today to celebrate our staff. Arts Wave campaign. The Library Arts Wave annual community campaign ended on March 15. We are thankful for those staff who contributed a total of $2,643, an increase of almost 20% over last year. And I think I am turning this back over to Mr. Olson. Thank you.
I think retired Judge Allen is next with the operations report.
Yes, I am. And I'm grateful to have the esteemed Kathy Block here, who prepared this report, our Public Services Director. So Dorvon Sweeten, Public Safety Supervisor, and Steve Causey, Public Safety Branch Supervisor of the Public Safety Department. Today we have two leaders in our organization presenting. Dorvon Sweet began her career at the Duke Energy Convention Center, where she worked for 10 years, shaping the security division. She joined CHPL in 2022, and in 2024 was promoted to Public Safety Supervisor. Dorvon has showcased leadership qualities and an unswavering commitment to internal and external customers. Her ability to connect customers to resources and ensure safe and welcoming spaces demonstrates her dedication to excellence. Dorvon serves as a certified trainer in de-escalation techniques from the Crisis Prevention Institute and is working with a team of trainers in our HR department to ensure our staff is trained in verbal de-escalation, something that this board may need to be engaged in itself.
What do you mean by that?
Hey, knock it off.
Right, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's what you're supposed to do?
I'm really saying that I would like to participate and learn something for the rest of my life, as we are all involved in other boards and other activities. So CPI is the leading provider of trauma-informed de-escalation training for educators and library staff. Steve Causey earned his associate degree in loss control in 1985 from Cincinnati Technical College while working in their security department. His work experience in safety and security has expanded over 30 years, including the University of Cincinnati, CTC, and contracted services before joining CHPL in 1995. Steve has proven to be an invaluable member of the team. His commitment and representation of CHPL's brand, mission, and values have contributed to the organization's success. Over the years, he has trained many staff in de-escalation, connecting with our customers, and partnering with other services to better do their job. Steve has co-chaired the Restorative Practices team and recently served on a panel program at the National Public Library Association conference titled Building Engagement and Changing Futures with Restorative Practices for Teens, something every parent ought to be interested in learning about. As leaders of our public safety team, Dorvon and Steve are continuing to work they love by fostering a positive environment where every customer and staff member can enjoy the library and have confidence in their safety. This includes serving as trainers certified in de-escalation training from the Crisis Prevention Institute. And at this time, I'd like to turn matters over to Dorvon and to Steve, who each have presentations to provide us.
Hi, I'm Dorvon Sweeten, and I am the Public Safety Supervisor here at Maine. So I want to start by saying thank you to the Board of Trustees and also the senior leadership, for inviting me to speak today. I'm excited to discuss my role as the Public Safety Supervisor within our organization. As the Public Safety Supervisor, I'm responsible for ensuring the safety and security of our customers, employees, and facilities. One critical aspect of my job is providing a welcoming and safe environment for everyone who enters our libraries. I work closely with my team to monitor the premises, identify potential hazards, and respond quickly and effectively to possible incidents. In addition to my regular duties, I am a certified trainer in de-escalation techniques from the Crisis Prevention Institution. This training has equipped me with the skills and knowledge to respond to various situations, from minor conflicts to more severe incidents. I am passionate about sharing these skills with my colleagues, as prevention and peaceful resolutions are the best way to ensure the safety and well-being for everyone involved. By teaching our staff how to identify and de-escalate potentially volatile situations, we can create a safer and more welcoming environment for all. I am proud to be a public safety supervisor and work with such a dedicated and professional team. Our work is essential to our organization's success, and I am committed to ensuring the safety and security of our customers and employees and facilities. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And Steve Cosey?
Hello, good evening.
We
Steve
all know
Cosey,
Steve.
Yeah, very familiar face.
Public Safety Branches Supervisor. A lot of words. Thank you to the Board of Trustees and senior leadership for inviting me today to speak. I'm thrilled to share insights for my new role and discuss our collective journey toward enhancing our services. In my new capacity, I have had the privilege of, immersing myself in our branch operations. Through this experience, I have gained invaluable insights into the daily challenges faced by our staff. By fostering collaboration between public safety and branch teams, I firmly believe we can overcome these challenges and enhance the experiences of both our customers and staff. Additionally, I recently had the honor of presenting at a national conference where I highlighted innovative approaches to addressing negative behavior in libraries. Many libraries react to such behavior by suspending or restricting services for youth. However, CHPL is spearheading efforts to implement restorative practices. These practices focus on changing our approach to negative behavior by offering equitable, collaborative responses. By strengthening relationships with our communities, restorative practices can transform our library culture. I'm deeply honored to be part of this dedicated team, and I'm fully committed to collaborating closely with our staff to uphold our core values of safety and inclusivity. Thank you for your unwavering support as we continue to serve and enrich our community.
Both. I can see why I've been chosen for these honors.
Judge Allen, I know we have that a couple of times about Steve's role in restorative practices, but although I haven't been here as long as Becky Cohn, I have been here a long time, and I just want to say that that was an idea that Mr. Causey brought forward a very long time ago before it was something that people in libraries were talking about. And he said to me one morning, I was walking here at the main library, and he said, "Hey, Paula, have we ever thought about maybe trying to get the kids to stay in the library? We could do some class like they do for driver's ed or something where we could just get them to stay in the library." And at that time, there wasn't an environment in libraries where the idea was people were not ready to implement it. But Steve and I saw it done at Pima County in Arizona, and Steve kept at it, and he used his voice to move that forward. And I do want to make sure that give credit where credit is due. Mr. Causey made that possible here, and he is on the leading edge of that here, and really it was fantastic. I was at his presentation at PLA, and it was really wonderful to see people listening to Steve talk about something that he has believed in long before it wasn't in vogue to think about. So I do thank you, Steve, for keeping at it, and you have done Thank you.
And my comment about all of it is that, you know, the taste is in the pudding, and I've seen articles that say that the libraries have become the leading favorite place for teens to gather. Is because of what we are providing them, a safe place and a dynamic place. So kudos to all of us. The Public Library Association National Conference. This year's premier national conference for public libraries in North America was located in my hometown of Columbus, Ohio, last week, welcoming more than 7,000 registered attendees to our great state. Ohio's public libraries took center stage, offering a rare local opportunity for our library to send a larger than usual contingent of staff holding a wide variety of positions to this multi-day conference. Two of our staff members, Harrison Branch Manager Kate Denier, or is it Denier? Well, the French pronunciation is Denier. I was a major in French, okay? Just have to show off somewhere. I'm not in France, so I may as well do it here. And Public Safety Branch Supervisor Steve Causey both presented. They served on a panel discussion titled Building Engagement and Changing Futures with Restorative Practices for Teens. Policy updates, meeting room and photographing, videotaping. We are receiving more requests from individuals and organizations wanting to use our locations for filming and are revising of photographing and videotaping in the public library policy. We've requested a legal review of the updated policy and believe this will allow for more understandable guidelines to be adopted. We will have the policy review at the June board meeting, and as questions arise, are operating with guidance in the spirit of anticipated updates. With the reopening of the south building of the main library this summer, we are requesting policy changes that will allow customers to utilize the outdoor terrace spaces on the third floor, which has been approved by some of the board members for use thereof. And they already have dibs on it? We are reviewing other library systems that utilize or rent their outdoor spaces, including Washington, D.C. and New York. We plan to present updates at the June board meeting. Illustration of the nests and eggs of birds of Ohio featured at Music Hall. The Genealogy and Local History Department and the Preservation Lab collaborated to display illustrations of the nests and eggs of birds of Ohio at Music Hall on March 1st and 2nd. Begun by Genevieve Estelle Jones, an Ohio woman known as the Other Audubon. The book and exhibit coincided with a performance by the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra honoring Oliver Messiaen, a major composer of the 20th century and an ornithologist. Summer reading program to focus on the science of reading. Summer reading returns June 1st. We've officially rebranded our Discover Summer program as Summer Reading. As our largest program of the year, summer presents a prime opportunity for the library to showcase our alignment with the state's emphasis on the science of reading. In line with this focus, we are returning to the fundamentals, reading and activities designed to bolster reading skills. This rebranding effort will not only celebrate hard work, but also demonstrate our unswavering commitment to supporting young readers and their families. On March 12th and 18th, Lifelong Learning and the Summer Reading Planning Team hosted summer reading retreats for our youth services staff. Topics included program overview for 2024, planning events for youth, taking summer reading on the road through community outreach, and supporting older kids with reading skills. Staff left these retreats prepared to lead summer reading activities at their locations in June and July. Winter Checkout Challenge wrap-up. This year, 8,000 adults participated in the Winter Checkout Challenge, and 3,358 of these participants completed the challenge and earned a limited edition CHPL mug. Did we have that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We have one.
Did you read?
I've got some. I want to make sure I've got that one. I need some de-escalation therapy.
we need some
Steve, can you help me out?
Yeah, de-escalation.
I need some de-escalation in this room. I'm feeling hostility. The top two goals of Winter Checkout Challenge were to increase awareness and engagement with library resources and promote mental health and well-being for adults in the winter. Additional upcoming programs and events: April 10th, cartooning with School Aid, Wyoming Branch. April 10th, Pete the Cat's Groovy Party, Harrison Branch. April 11th, produce pop-up with Free Store Food Bank at the Coverdale Branch. April 13th, Housing Empowerment and Resource Affair, Deer Park Branch. April 13th, From Seeds to Smiles, Exploring Ecology, Mount Washington Branch. And that concludes my report. Thank you, and I return this matter back to our esteemed president.
Thank you very well. Well done. We'll move us on to the next topic, the Strategy Committee Chair, Mr. Harding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to Tara and Michelle for providing this report. 513 Relief Bus. The Forest Park Branch Library hosted the 513 Relief Bus in early February and early March. The county provided 3 French translators to connect with our growing Mauritanian communities living in Forest Park area to vital resources. The county reported that hundreds of community members were served at both events and provided fresh produce from Free Store Food Bank, warm meals from Food for the Soul, free medical checkups with UC Health, free printing of birth certificates, and more. Brian Wright, director of Cincinnati Compass, facilitated conversations about preparing for citizenship with our Mauritanian community members and French translators. A special thanks to myself for when, that's right. It's in the report, so I'll thank give me one of these. But no, it was a great event. Really delighted to see the library's presence in the community. David Siders was there as well, who seems to be everywhere at all these community events. So no, it was really great. I know I talked about it a little bit at our last meeting, but once again, just have really enjoyed seeing the library step up in this way. We've been such a great community asset, and now adding another notch to our belts. So that's great work all around to everybody that's been involved in that. Citizens Complaint Authority to host information tables at 9 libraries. The Citizens Complaint Authority mission is to investigate serious interventions by police officers, including but not limited to discharges of firearms, death in custody, and major uses of force, and to review and resolve citizens' complaints of law enforcement misconduct in a fair and efficient manner. The CCA requested to have an information table at 9 branches: Avondale, College Hill, Covedale, Madisonville, Mount Washington, Northside, Oakley, Pleasant Ridge, and Price Hill. CCA staff may conduct interviews with citizens if they have a complaint. The tables will be at a different branch once per month for the rest of the year.
CCA.
Right.
In the last sentence, because they're very different organizations and do very different.
Not community action agencies.
Yeah, no, right, because you didn't get a response.
Council on Aging event at Walnut Hills. We continue to strengthen our partnership with the Council on Aging by hosting Aging Connections at the Walnut Hills Branch Library on April 9th, 2024. This event features COA's services to promote aging in place. Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office is providing education on avoiding fraud and scams and emergency preparedness. Cincinnati Recreation Commission will feature fun and well-being events and resources available to seniors and caregivers. The Center for Closing the Health Gap will feature self-advocacy strategies to combat health challenges. In-demand free tax prep continues to grow. Our partnership with United Way and our free tax help service continues to grow. Free tax help is available at the downtown Main Library, Groesbeck, Harrison, Reading, and North Central branch libraries. United Way recruited IRS certified volunteers with AARP and GE Aerospace. New this year includes the recruitment of AmeriCorps volunteers to allow us to expand free tax help at the Price Hill Branch Library. A case manager from U.S. Congressman Greg Landsman's office is providing IRS-related troubleshooting and assistance to community members experiencing problems and barriers related to filing taxes with the IRS at the Price Hill Branch Library. And we are promoting the United Way endorsed myfreetaxes.com as an additional resource available for many tax filers. NAACP Resource Fair. We are partnering with the Cincinnati NAACP to host their first Fair Housing and Empowerment Fair at the Deer Park Branch April 13th. The resource fair will include housing resources and assistance, empowerment and advocacy resources, legal assistance, and fair housing support, and prevention of lead poisoning by people working cooperatively. In-Demand Jobs Week. We are once again partnering with Ohio Means Jobs to celebrate In-Demand Jobs Week 2024. Governor DeWine noted via a recent press release, whether you're completing a certification, learning a new skill, or moving up in your career, Ohio's broad range of in-demand jobs means Ohio is truly the heart of opportunity. A job and career fair will be held at the Forest Park Branch on May 8th and will feature employers and organizations that provide fast-track education to achieve success in trades, healthcare, and more. OMJ is pleased that we can partner and host the IDJW Fair in the northern part of Hamilton County, which allows OMJ to significantly extend their reach. Outreach services. In March, Outreach Services distributed 31 iPads, which was purchased through the funding provided by the Library Foundation, to 2 senior facilities. Our goal was to provide devices to seniors with limited access to technology. The first program was held on March 6th at St. Teresa Village. Staff helped 16 residents set up devices. This included creating an Apple ID, setting up email, and an overview of our various apps, Livy, Canopy, and Hoopla. On March 18th, another 15 devices were distributed to residents of 7 Acres Senior Living. In addition to Libby, Canopy, and Hoopla, customers also requested Candy Crush. To get those numbers up. The team works to ensure all participants can use the devices to meet their interests and needs. We will have follow-up programming in April to check in on the residents and answer questions. And before I conclude, I was delighted to go to the conference this last week. I went up on a Wednesday. It was great to see and hear from so many different library systems across the country. It was great. We had folks from King County, Seattle area, and all the way down to Georgia. So it was great to interface with other folks that are in this space. And, I couldn't see Steve's presentation, but I'm sure it went well. So I was delighted to go to a few others, and we had a dinner afterwards with the big library directors across the state, just to hear about what they're doing, what the challenges that they're facing. So was delighted to represent the board. If they come through another time, I'd highly recommend that to other board members that might be interested. They gave away a lot of free books too, so I know we love free
Great.
stuff.
Well, is there something that you learned from there that we should be adopting here? That's what I want, whether or not, or are we so ahead of the curve that they're trying to follow suit with us?
This went to one that you mentioned specifically.
Yeah, there was probably one of my favorites was about multilingual services. So they had a presentation from the Kansas City Library and Chicago library system. 2 communities that have had a large increase in their immigrant population, which we're not unique in that also here. So they talked about how they had worked with the city and refugee resettlement agencies to showcase their library services to new Americans that are coming in, and how they've basically programmed their the circulation that they offer to showcase minority authors and what have you, the signage and all that stuff. So I definitely think that there's some opportunity. I know we're opening up that branch in Forest Park, which has had a large increase in West Africans, which I would love to see if maybe we have some signage that's in French, maybe promote some authors that maybe come from their home country. So there's definitely some things there that were great. One of the more well-attended sessions I was at was regarding book ban challenges across the country. We're still seeing challenges. So they had a couple different speakers, one from Maricopa County, which has had a lot of interest on other issues. But it was interesting to hear about how all these different systems are battling these challenges, how they're also, stressing that libraries are a source for intellectual freedom, right? We don't want to exclude folks. How do we be more inclusive and tackling the needs of different communities that, might, shall we say, have issue with certain material. But, we need to make sure that we are being thoughtful with how we manage our circulation and address these challenges. So it was great. Lots of different sessions, lots of great vendors. So anyways, great conference all around. Would highly recommend it to anybody else that might want to attend in the future. And with that, I'll send it back to you, Mr. President.
Well, Mr. Harding, you certainly do deserve a pat on the back. 'Cause that did really well. Thank you for all the extra information, because we all can't make it up there. And the time you took That means a lot to us. I love the multilingual opportunity we have here because we are seeing it quite a bit. And if there is any French translation, we have our French student. Okay, thank you again. So now we'll move on to Ms. Reynolds for the Technology Committee Chair.
Thank you, President Olson, and to His Excellence Holbrook Sample, Chief Technology and Logistics Officer. Thank you. Sir, my liege. Okay, technology items. Search Ohio, Ohio Link, and the Integrated Library System. Materials such as books, DVDs, or even CDs. Can people play CDs anymore? Is that a thing that people do? Can be borrowed from another public library in Ohio through Search Ohio or an academic library through Ohio Link. Our sorting and materials retrieval department has staff dedicated to this beloved resource sharing among Ohio libraries. Due to the strength of our collections, we lend more items to public libraries than we borrow. However, we borrow more from academic libraries than we lend out. A more detailed breakdown is available in the meeting's consent agenda item, statistical highlight. Relatively seamless interlibrary resources sharing is made possible by a software module attached to our integrated library system, ILS, and was a primary reason we moved to the Sierra ILS in 2012. Recently, Ohio Link announced they are moving to an ILS agnostic resource sharing module, and Search Ohio likely to follow suit. Additionally, several public libraries utilizing Ohio Link and Search Ohio have recently reevaluated their ILS, and Cuyahoga County Public Library has switched to a well-developed open source ILS called COA. We plan to evaluate several open source ILS options over the next year. Open source options require more dedicated staff time, which would be easily paid for with the significant savings realized from switching from a traditional vendor to an open source product. Hyde Park branch to launch a new self-checks point-of-sale system. Once reopened this weekend, the Hyde Park branch will have the first of the new Biblioteca set self-checkout kiosks that will be rolled out at all locations this year. The self-checkout experience for customers will be familiar as we already use Biblioteca software, but the hardware will be all new. We are considering piloting checkouts within the use of pins at Hyde Park. Card numbers only would be required. Also at opening, Hyde Park will launch the first of the new point-of-sale payment kiosks where customers can pay for lost materials, makerspace supplies, and things like earbuds. As with the self-check kiosk, we will roll out the point-of-sale kiosk to all locations this year. And that concludes my brief report. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Reynolds. The next report is the Development Committee Chair. Ms. Lewis is not here, but Ms. Redden will be handling this report.
Thank you, Mr. Olson. This was compiled by Stacy Dennison, Chief Development Officer. The Library Foundation. The Foundation's spring campaign and appeal is currently underway. The results of the campaign will be reported at the next meeting. Friends of the Public Library. The Books and Booze event on March 13th, 2024 was a smashing success. Imagine that.
Was it the books or was it the booze?
Imagine that. This adult book fair welcomed customers from across the region to Nine Giants Fematorium. Customers purchased materials in support of the library through food and libations. Always found that if you offer cocktails, people tend to buy more.
I just love that you got the word libations.
Libations.
I love the word.
Libations. April is Members Month at the Friends Library, where Friends members save 20% on purchases. Anderson Township Library Association. Over the past few months, ATLA volunteers have been working to relocate their operations to a more convenient space. They believe they found a new home, and the libraries continue to work with them throughout this process. In the coming months, an updated memorandum of understanding will be presented for review. Are they moving far away?
No.
Just,
It's actually closer to the Anderson branch.
okay, so better space, cheaper for them, or,
Yes.
okay. All right, good. Back over to you, Mr. Olson.
So, well, I think we're gonna need a motion for a voice vote of the approval of the consent items, is that correct?
Make the motion?
Second. All in favor?
Aye. And we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Exactly.